Welcome to the Christmas game dungeon. You know, I was getting concerned about finding a game for Christmas this year, since it feels like my options get more and more limited. And if we're being honest, this isn't a Christmas game, but it does have snow, so close enough. This game is loaded with snow. In fact, I think there's only one segment where it isn't snowing, and it's stupid anyway. So yeah, we are getting snow for Christmas this year. And with that, we're taking a look at Fahrenheit. This is an adventure-ish game. Yeah, look at all that snow, see? And the menu starts with very depressing, funeral-worthy violin music. But don't worry, it's not actually that sad of a game. It's more of a crime mystery / what the hell is going on kind of game. Yeah, I've played this game before, and while I remember most of the main events, I remember almost nothing when it comes to why they happened. It's just a black hole in my memory. So let's try and find out. But before we start, let's check out the tutorial, since it's been a while for me.
Hi.
Hi.
My name is David Cage. I'm the writer and director of Fahrenheit. I just thought there's a few things you should know before you get started. I'd like you to meet my friend Bob.
Yikes.
You'll be controlling him while you're learning. Let's begin with something simple. Move toward the mark on the floor.
Yep, another game with tank controls.
Yes!
I thought it had gone out of style by 2005, but not here. Well, the game actually has good camera controls, and most of the action is done by dragging the mouse in different directions. It feels like it was meant for a gamepad, but I tried enabling it, but look, nothing. So mouse and keyboard it is. That's okay, I hate thumbsticks anyway. The layout isn't horrendous, but it is awkward because it wants me to switch between the number pad and the mouse. Yeah, this feels weird. Why is the mannequin with human skin doing exercises? I honestly can't tell if the director knows he made a creepy flesh automaton, or is just oblivious to the concept of the uncanny valley.
You can also choose what you want to say in the dialogues in Fahrenheit. Let's give it a try. What do you think of my friend Bob?
Yeah, look, those are my only two options. Sexy or nice. Well, I'm playing the uncensored version of this game, so let's just go with nice. I don't want to run down this plotline.
Hey Bob, did you hear that? Right, I see you got the meaning of the dialogue.
Well, while he finishes up, I want to say 99% of this game is letterboxed. So I'm just going to bump the resolution and cut the HUD for you so we get the more cinematic experience here. Yeah, we should talk a little more about the director later, but let's get to the game.
Be careful. Your every action will have consequences for the story.
Good.
A word of advice, think before you act.
Okay, cue the American Beauty flower petals.
Things are never quite what they seem. We think we understand the world around us, but we really only see the outside, what it seems to be. I used to be just like you. I believed in humanity, the newspapers, soap commercials, politics, and history books.
You're assuming a lot about me.
The world kicks you in the teeth, and you don't have any choice but to see things the way they really are.
Yeah.
My name is Lucas Kane. My story is the one where an ordinary guy has something extraordinary happen to him. Maybe it was supposed to happen. Maybe it was my destiny or my karma or whatever. I know one thing for sure. Nothing's ever going to be the same.
The same. Be the same, right? Yeah, this one took me a bit to figure out. I forgot the game would clip some lines short, and I found the cause. On PC Gaming Wiki, they say to cap the frame rate at 60 frames a second. But that's wrong. I fixed it, but you need to cap it at 30 frames per second.
Nothing's ever going to be the same again.
Aha! Well, my life is different now that you can complete sentences. But yeah, this is good. I am completely on board with starting off our story at the edge of reality or wherever he was. I've said before how Phantasmagoria 2 is one of my favorite games. Well, at its core, Phantasmagoria 2 is the story of going from a boring job to Dimension X. That's a story I can relate to. Well, out of all the games I've played, Fahrenheit is the only other one to come close to that feeling for me. I mean, you heard him. He used to have a boring life. Now he's at the edge of reality. So what happened? Well, let's find out. I'm hazy on the details myself. Well, it's set in New York and it's snowing. And we're following a crow. Like the crow. Though I'm pretty sure this crow isn't as helpful as that one. And I got confused here because it sounds like the crow opened the window, but no, it was already open. But you can hear the window sound. And some guy's pissing. Okay? Yeah, I don't know what makes more sense. That the crow opened the window, or that the diner left the window open in the middle of winter. And someone's in the stall with a bloody knife having a seizure. Only in New York, huh? Okay, this looks like a pretty clear-cut case of possession. Oh, I forgot to tell you, we're having murder for Christmas. Again? I'm actually not trying to make this a holiday thing, it just kinda happens. Oh yeah, he got him good. Then there's a vision of a little girl? This came out the same year as Fear, by the way. Okay, possession's over. We now return you to your regularly scheduled life. Panic! Blah! Blah! And of course there's a cop in the diner. Yeah! Now this is interesting, and might be the first game I've seen do this, where you have multiple real-time cameras at the same time for dramatic effect and storytelling. Now this is hardly the first game to have multiple cameras, but maybe it is using this style. I don't know how far back this technique goes in film. I mostly remember it from the show 24, where the whole thing is supposed to be in real time. That's probably where the director got the inspiration for this. This is kind of an interesting time capsule, since I don't think this style ever really caught on, but I think it's a decent technique. I mean, it breaks the fourth wall a little bit, but I think it largely works here. I know the game The Experiment leaned heavily into this sort of thing. I still need to play that. Anyway, we need to get the hell out of Dodge. Oh, come on, it turned me around. Which way do I go?
I live too far away to walk.
Beggars can't be choosers, Lucas. Maybe you can run farther than you think on adrenaline. Okay, taxi, let's go. And then we get dramatic music as a bum in an alley steps forward. Oh, good. A surprise witness. Boy, Lucas is having a bad night. I can almost guarantee your Christmas is going better than his. And that's the end of the chapter. And instead of following Lucas, now we're in the role of the investigative team, Carla and Tyler. Well, we check in with the cop, check in with forensics, interview the waitress, inspect the body, make a note of the knife, find a book Lucas was reading at the diner, interview the bum out in the alley.
I don't see nothing. I mind my own business.
Okay, I guess he's not that useful. Honestly, this guy is the more realistic ending to Rambo.
The murderer might have come or gone in a taxi. I'm gonna check on the destinations of taxis leaving this area.
Yeah, follow up on the cab records for later. So this is not looking good for Lucas. His fingerprints are everywhere, the waitress saw him, he left his book behind, and his taxi destination was logged. Now, it's safe to assume Lucas has no criminal record, so his fingerprints are not in the system. Otherwise, they would have him in hours. But this is not good for him. And in the next chapter, we're back to Lucas.
A nightmare. It was all just a horrible nightmare. I didn't kill anyone.
Oh good, it was all a dream. Oh wait, no, it's not, Lucas. You're in deep shit. And that got me thinking. If we're jumping around between chapters here, isn't the police investigation essentially undoing any progress Lucas makes? Well, yes, it is. So we need to rewire our gaming instincts and not do the best job we can. Or not if we're the cops. And now that we know that, we can't throw Lucas to the wolves like this, so let's rewind and do it right. Okay, Lucas, don't panic. First, move the body. Yes, much better. Now let's scrub this blood off. Damn, he holds a mop more confidently than Roger Wilco. Actually, this ended up being quite difficult because even though I'm keeping the mouse as vertical as I can, the cursor almost veers off on its own. Huh. Okay, got the floor scrubbed. Though the game doesn't let me clean the blood trail, or the blood in the stall. Why not? That's kind of important too. Alright, dispose of the murder weapon.
The knife. I've got to get rid of it.
Really, he should take it with him and dump it across town, but whatever.
It's barred up. I can't get out this way.
I don't know. I think you could squeeze out of there if you really tried, but fine. We'll exit out the door. Wash up, then calmly walk out of the bathroom. Sit down. Now, if you try to just leave, the waitress will holler at you to pay your bill. That's no good. We want to be a ghost. However, we can just leave cash and then she won't notice when we exit out the back way. This feels a little gamey, but I can actually see that not triggering the waitress's unconscious sense of who's paid or not. Unfortunately, there's no way to pick up the book. And we do want to take the back way, because even though the front will be less conspicuous, then more people see us. Out back, only the bum sees us and his testimony is worthless. This is the way to go. And then once we head out, if we take the subway, then we won't leave a record of him taking the taxi. But look at this. Look at this crap. After we leave, the cop still goes to the bathroom and sees our blood trail that the game wouldn't let me clean up. This is bullshit. So all that work bought me what? An extra 10 seconds? If I had cleaned up all the blood and left the guy in the stall, that could have potentially bought me hours before the police found out. The diner might not even notice until closing time. And to add insult to injury, in the next chapter, I tried half-assing it this time, but they won't let you leave until you find the murder weapon.
Come on, let's go, Carla. I can't even keep my eyes open anymore.
Yeah, let's call it a night already.
We haven't found the murder weapon. It might still be around here somewhere.
Damn it, Carla! It's randomized where Lucas hid it, but you literally can't advance in the game unless you find the knife. So there was no point to hiding the body, no point in hiding the murder weapon. What the hell? Fine, let's do it their way. Okay, I'm just gonna leave the body, leave the knife, wash up, play it cool, pay my bill, leave out the back, take the subway. I still don't like this. I could have covered this up better, but the game won't let me. I kind of hate this in games, when they give you a huge incentive to do something a certain way, but then don't let you do it for no reason. But we can still salvage this fumble. Okay, we have to interview the witness. Yeah, whatever, lady. Oh look, we found our murder weapon.
That would seem to indicate that the murder wasn't premeditated.
Damn Skippy! See, I'm helping. I just knocked down the charges on Lucas to second-degree murder. Or possibly voluntary manslaughter if we're really lucky. I mean, better to just not get caught, but I bought us a little bit of damage control. So I resent not being able to handle this my way, but I do like how the game lets you openly take a piss as Tyler at the crime scene with Carla still in the room. That's a bold move, Tyler, even if the other detective was a man, let alone a woman. And that's the tone I want to set here. We're just gonna piss all over this investigation. Book? What book? I didn't see anything. You can't solve all the crimes. I think we can take it easy on this one.
You ready to go, Tyler? I think I've seen everything I need to see.
Yeah, we're not paid by the hour. Let's get out of here. I mean, I do have questions, but none the police can help with. They're not gonna help anything. You know, and I know, this isn't Lucas's fault. He was possessed, but the New York justice system will never understand that. We're not selling Lucas down the river. End of story. But who is the guy controlling him? Why did he want this guy dead? He looks like an accountant. Almost getting some Half-Life Dr. Kleiner vibes off of him. Is this little girl in here only because the director saw the ring? These questions need answering. But Lucas has more immediate problems. Huh, the atmosphere is kind of loud. Oh, that's because the window is open. Yeah, sleeping in boxers with the window open and one blanket? Okay, I don't know what the game is trying to say here, but yeah, shut the window. It will typically report what the temperature is at the start of each chapter, too. Even though it's in Celsius, despite the game being called Fahrenheit. That's 14 degrees, by the way. Nobody sleeps like this unless that blanket is designed by NASA or something. Damn, the window is open in here, too. Mwah. Well, this chapter emphasizes a gameplay mechanic, which is your mental health. It's dirt simple. Some actions give you mental health points, others make you lose them. If you go to 0, you kill yourself. I can't take the pressure! It can be the smallest of things, too. Look wistfully at a picture on your desk. Lose 5 points. Drink water. Gain 5 points. Drink milk. Another 5 points. You're also never happy. If you have maximum points, all it says is neutral. I would criticize this, but I don't live in New York either. Maybe this isn't too far off. The mechanic's mildly annoying more than anything else. From a gameplay perspective, all this encourages you to do is fiddle with everything, learn what randomly depresses you or not, then restart the chapter and avoid the sad stuff. So at worst, it's one of these play every level twice to do it right games. Oh well. Huh, duck soup. This is not normal food for Americans. That is a Marx Brothers movie though. I guess this is an inside joke? Then where are my mental health points? There's that crow again. You should put stage makeup all over your face and get a trench coat, Lucas. Whoa, okay, a lot happening here. We're having a premonition. A cop is going to come to our place and find blood everywhere. We're dead meat, except it hasn't happened yet, because now Lucas is psychic. But you have to play a stupid QuickTime button minigame to see this. More on that later, but let's kick things into gear. Put your bloody clothes in the laundry. Really, you should have burned them last night in some alley away from your home, but I guess this works for now. Oops, it's the cops. If you don't answer, he'll break down the door and arrest you. Land of the free. Hello, officer. Oh, he's not actually here to arrest you. The neighbors reported you for screaming. Yeah, I can see how Lucas had some bad dreams last night. Depending on what you say, it will raise his suspicion. And since Lucas is a pushover, when the cop asks if he can come inside your apartment, he comes in either way. Okay, no bloody clothes, but uh-oh, I forgot to make my bed. Guess I can practice making my bed in prison. Alright, so redo, act cool, let the cop in voluntarily. You should learn what a warrant is, Lucas. Yeah, nothing here. Bye now.
Sorry to have bothered you, sir. You know how it is. With everything that's been going on, we prefer to be careful.
With everything going on? Yeah, you mean at all times? Because you're a cop? Oh, phone call. And I can't unsee this because I've done a lot of animation work before. They tried to make the phone stick to his hand, but it didn't work. So it's just kind of hanging in space while Lucas is idling. That's not too bad, though. Most people probably wouldn't notice. Well, it's your brother, and you want to talk to him about your murder. That's a bad idea, Lucas. Might I suggest no one? Maybe talk about your murder with no one? No? Okay, my vote's overruled. Let's go meet your brother. Yeah, let's talk about our murder. I've heard keeping things bottled up is bad for your health, but you know what's even worse for your health? Doing 25 to life in Sing Sing? I know I said I knocked it down to second-degree murder charges, but you never know what's going to happen in court. The judge might be in a bad mood. Now, this is a long game, but there are scenes that matter, there are scenes that don't matter, and there are scenes that really don't matter. This one doesn't matter. Although it threw me off because I thought for a second there was a statue of Chico Marx, and we were going to get more Marx Brothers references. But no, it's just a conquistador.
The fact that you have taken a life is a very serious matter. I told you that it wasn't me, Marcus. All these years and nothing's changed. You still never listened to me.
Aren't you listening? I killed the guy, but it wasn't me. What the hell's your problem? Yeah, this doesn't go anywhere. Lucas is upset, your brother's dumbfounded, some kid throws himself into the pond. Then it's time to switch to the detectives. Here's where things really start to not matter. You check in at the station.
Hi, Carla.
Ready for that big retirement?
Working on it.
Drink water. Check your email. Play with the yo-yo. Call your partner. Now it's his turn. Get up. Take a shower. Get dressed. Drink coffee. Have an argument with your girlfriend. Oh yeah, that's a look that says your relationship is on solid ground. Head to the station.
You ready for retirement, man?
Yeah, I'm working on it.
Talk to some cop who you owe $100 to. And this bugs me. You can either challenge him to a basketball game to double or nothing the money you owe him, or you can challenge him to a basketball game for double or nothing. There's literally no choice here. But yeah, this is packed full of mundane activities that don't impact anything. Now I get it. You can't have the whole game be nothing but stabbing people. Well, actually you can, but this isn't that kind of game. I understand pacing. A little bit of mundane activity to cool down is okay, but this is testing my threshold.
Garrett got the lab results. Shall we go?
Alright, let me hang up my coat. I'll be right with you.
Okay, see you in a minute.
Oh, is the game going to make me manually take off my jacket to progress? Is it? No, false alarm. Anyway, they found fingerprints at the crime scene. What a surprise.
Frank found a book on one of the tables in the diner.
Damn it! I intentionally left the book on the floor and they got it anyway. Did anything I did matter? Well, a little bit. The waitress comes in to give a description of Lucas, and we get to handle that ourselves. We're gonna fuck this up proper. Now you might think we should make him way off by making him bald or giving him dreadlocks. But no, we want some plausible deniability. We want to be off, but not comically so. Perfect, that's our man. Or maybe your roommate. Carla goes to the morgue, and I have to play a QuickTime game so she doesn't throw up, and we learn this probably isn't the first murder like this. Oh, and I'm playing on easy, by the way. Judge me all you want. I think all it affects are the QuickTime events, and this just isn't my kind of gameplay. It's too bad, because the adventure game elements have been pretty decent so far. Back to Lucas. He's going to work and works as a senior IT guy at a bank. That would explain how he was able to afford that apartment in New York City. Oop, one of the stations is down. He has to go fix it. I used to have a job kind of like this. The go out and fix it part, not the have your own office overseeing stuff part. And it was minimum wage, not whatever he's, You doing okay there, Lucas? Alright, what seems to be the trouble? Oh wow, that sucks. Yeah, I never had to deal with this many bugs. For that job, anyway. I guess this is why Lucas gets paid the big bucks. This sequence is pretty good, though. What's with the bugs? Are they real? Is it all in his head? What kind of bugs are those? Weevils? Did you have rice for breakfast, Lucas? Oh look, it's your murder victim. Yeah, you can see the Phantasmagoria 2 influence. Half of what's going down here happened in that game. The barrier between worlds is starting to fade. Or not. Everything's fine again. Well, time to call it a day. And because your morale is crippled, you have to do a bunch of things around the apartment to not kill yourself. If I had to play this song, this would not help my morale. The QuickTime event sure doesn't. I'm not doing more of this. I'll take my chances being depressed. And the windows were open again. You can't even blame this one on sleepwalking. What the hell is your problem, Lucas? Okay, time for bed. Wait, no, it's his ex-girlfriend. The two of you split up a month ago, and I'm not sure of the details. Now, the game does let you hook back up, and if you do, there's this incredibly awkward sex minigame. I'm not gonna show it, sorry. It's not hot. You're not missing something good. It wants you to move the controller with the thrust. It just wasn't a good idea. Besides, I can't remember if Lucas blabs to his ex-girlfriend also that he killed the guy, and I don't want the increased liability, so I'm just gonna let her go. I don't trust him not to confess to the next person he sees. Go to bed, Lucas. Nope. I wake up again and the windows are back open again, of course. If I go out into the hall, I see the little girl and my morale goes to hell and I kill myself again. Just go back to sleep, Lucas. And in the morning, nothing matters. Absolutely nothing. We start with the detectives training in the gym, and I have to do QuickTime events for their entire workout. Not cool, game. Then they fight each other, but I can just idle on the QuickTime events and not do any of them. Good. That means Tyler beats the living crap out of Carla. You don't see that often, where a man and a woman do kickboxing against each other, and the man, who has significantly more muscle mass, doesn't hold back a thing. Ouch! Uppercut! Yeah, look at that! A cartwheel kick to the face after kicking her in the knee. Roundhouse! Boom! Roundhouse! Boom! Roundhouse! Back to Lucas. He hangs out with his brother in the cemetery, and we get a flashback to the worst part of the game. Now Lucas is a kid and has significant uncanny valley action going on.
Your mother sent me to find you. I'm gonna go and tell her that you're messing around in here.
And now it's a stealth game. Oh, good. You have to climb the fence, watch the patrols, then find all the kids playing hide and seek before the warehouse explodes, and if you miss one, Lucas is overcome with grief and kills himself again.
Yes, I didn't manage to get them all out.
I'll just say the gameplay was not fun here. This was my least favorite part of the game. There was no snow and none of it mattered. And the bad gameplay keeps coming. Carla has to search the archives and has claustrophobia, so the game represents that by having to perpetually press the left and right keys like an inconsistent metronome while navigating with the mouse. And if you let the arrow touch the edges even once, you start all over, so the game demands absolute key pressing discipline. And this isn't just a simple sequence to get through. You also have to navigate a small maze and figure out a puzzle while all this is going on. It's not a hard one, but the point is, you have to figure out the next step the entire time you're also monitoring that meter, and never letting it go too far left or right. It's simple enough that it doesn't make me want to punch my monitor, but it's about 2 notches below that feeling. This does bring up an interesting point I've seen debated before though. Because I imagine if you were to ask the director why he included this frustrating part that I think the vast majority of people would not find fun, he might say something like, this is a way of expressing what someone who is actually claustrophobic might go through, where they have to maintain constant focus to not get overwhelmed. It's not supposed to be fun. And that brings up the question, should games be fun? I've heard some people don't consider games art because most are designed to be fun and entertaining, as opposed to an artist's full unbridled expression, where your enjoyment may not factor into that at all. I don't really have an opinion on the artistic merit, but I'm decisively lowbrow on this issue in that I prefer games that are trying to be fun. Usually when a game is not fun, it means the designer screwed up or else you're not the target audience. It's rarer for a game to not be fun on purpose. Now that doesn't mean I think the games that aren't trying to be fun shouldn't exist, but I think a good compromise might be like those warning screens you see in Resident Evil games, where it says it contains violence and gore, but instead of that it says warning. This game contains parts that have been specifically designed not to be fun. I think Fahrenheit would have to display that warning.
When this symbol appears at the top of the screen, it means your character is gonna have to make a physical effort. You'll see. He'll be exhausted too.
See, back to the investigation, that book is really twisting the knife, because there was a personal note from your brother written into it with his initials. Though the game does let me ignore that. But what it doesn't let me skip is finding the bookmark Lucas was using. And it's a scrap of stock quote paper at the bank he works at, and is watermarked to that bank. Carla interviews a cop at the firing range and confirms this murder isn't the first. But this is the first time this game is rewarding me for using the mouse. And we continue with scenes that don't matter with the basketball game I couldn't get out of. Thankfully, the game lets me throw the entire match, so I can skip all these damn QuickTime events. Man, a lot of time was spent making these animations. Now again, this doesn't matter, but since the game is asking me to make decisions, it's still not letting me do what I want to. Because what I wanted Tyler to do is throw the game, so now he owes $200, but then welch on that bet, and just keep saying I'll pay you soon.
This is Jonah Ray, saying I'll get you next time. I swear.
Also, I kind of don't know what to say here, because it's about 10 degrees Fahrenheit. And I have to call bullshit on this being 7 p.m. It would be dark in the middle of winter in New York. But fine, it's 10 degrees out and they're wearing shorts and jerseys. Now, you do put off more heat exercising, but not this much. I run in winter, but I'll still be wearing a long sleeve shirt on top of a t-shirt. Yeah, 10 degrees and a little bit of wind chill from the looks of things. Between this and Lucas keeping the windows open in his apartment, what's going on here? Is the director trying to say something? I'm assuming he's aware of how winter works. The game is called Fahrenheit, so this has to be on purpose. But why? They could have set this inside an indoor court, or given them winter sports clothes. I just don't get it. Maybe me being confused is the joke? Okay, you got me, David Cage. Anyway, Lucas goes to visit a psychic his brother recommended. Yeah, why not? At least he didn't turn you in. She's blind and has the sort of house people get murdered in. Okay, she wants me to wheel her to the bird room. Alright. Oh wait, no, this is the kitchen. Yeah, there we go. Then she wants me to wheel her back. Make up your mind, lady. Alright, seance time. And now we're getting some answers. And you can tell the game really wants you to see this because they made the QuickTime events way easier. Though they don't stop, so they're just kind of annoying. You know, straight up cutscenes are okay. Even long ones. I won't lose interest if I'm not playing Simon Says while I watch it. I promise. But here, a mysterious stranger comes into the diner, orders a coffee, and erases everyone's memory of his presence. This is obviously the real killer. And that's all I have to say about that. The psychic knows more but says to come back tomorrow. Fine. You're the only one answering questions. Oh, and Lucas confesses he's a murderer to her too, by the way. Lucas, you've got to do better than this.
Lucas Kane.
Yellow. Oh, you again. God, this sequence. Okay, the short version is he just triggered 5 straight minutes of the Simon memory game while every piece of furniture in your room starts flying at you. That doesn't sound that long, but it really feels like it. There are 2 problems here. 1, this gameplay sucks. Nobody likes Poltergeist as enemies, let alone QuickTime event ones. I mean, if they really wanted to do this, wouldn't it be more fun to actually dodge the objects? And ironically, this means I'm not focusing on the cutscene, because I'm spending all my attention on the buttons. I do a little better when they're in my peripheral vision, so here's an approximation of what I'm paying attention to during these sequences. You're seeing more than I am watching this, because if I pay attention to the cutscene, I might fail the event. This is just bad design. You know those old full-motion video games in the 90s like Rebel Assault or Sewer Shark, where you get a prompt to press the button at the right time or else you fail? I would argue that is superior gameplay than this, because at least in those, you're still mostly looking at what's in front of you. And the second problem is that this gets boring. That sounds counterintuitive, but that's what's happening. This sequence should be maybe 30 seconds, enough to wake you up for a quick scare, then bring you back to reality. But no, I want to say it's literally every piece of furniture in your apartment. Every one by one. It just keeps going on and on. I feel like I'm helping Lucas move. There are so many boxes. Cleaning up the murder, figuring out how to prepare for the cop coming to the door, was way more thrilling than this. Repetitive action with no context just sort of numbs me to it. I think this may have sounded good on paper, but by the time they did it, it was so much work they weren't gonna scrap it. Well, it was all a dream. But the cops investigating the murder wasn't. They figure out which bank the bookmark paper came from, so they start asking questions while Lucas is at work the next day. Now, I replayed this part a couple times so I could get this right and not raise any suspicion. Because the game throws you off here. Those QuickTime events will pop up and you should not do some of them. Because if you do, then Lucas freaks out over invisible bugs. And as you know, cops like to arrest people with mental health problems. And after that, the game switches over to Carla, and I intentionally didn't go through Lucas's things while he's out of the room. No, we're just gonna stand here and watch the snow. This whole investigation is just a dead end. I'm looking out for you, Lucas. We ace the interview. She doesn't get 1 bar of suspicion. You have the wrong guy, officer. Bye. But this brings us to the boiling point. I'm back at the office as Carla, and I still can't solve this case. Because I've done everything to fuck up this investigation, because Lucas doesn't need this. The witness description is garbage. We don't have the fingerprints ID'd. There are no taxi records because he took the subway. That bookmark is a problem, but there's not nearly enough to convict. Well, guess what? If we bring over an employee photo of Lucas to the cop who was at the diner, he recognizes him immediately and boom, that's enough to arrest. Are you fucking kidding me? Yeah, the same cop that didn't notice you leave, and we even received a flashback of him not paying attention to you during the seance. I made sure the cops had nothing on Lucas every step of the way, and it didn't matter. Officer Eidetic here saves the day. If he knows Lucas's fate so well, why didn't he tell the detectives at the diner? Okay, you know what? That part could be realistic. It could be it never occurred to him that him knowing exactly what the suspect looked like was relevant to the case. I can believe that one. Just because you're a cop doesn't mean you're Sherlock Holmes. But you get what this means. There was never any choice at all. They were always going to find Lucas, and none of the decisions mattered. I tried so hard to make sure Lucas wasn't charged, but there's literally nothing I could have done, despite having decisions every step of the way. Now, I'm hardly the first person to talk about this, but this is one of the more egregious examples I've seen of this style of adventure game where you choose what to do. There are so many choice-based games where the structure of them is set up roughly like this. You have key plot points and locations that the game is going to hit no matter what, but you present the player with choices along the way. Now, if you do it the game once, then this feels organic. If you don't, then you still come to the same plot points, but it feels more awkward, like what's happening to me right now. Now, that doesn't mean you have no influence, but it's only with small things. You can maybe influence if a few characters live or die, or if you want to hook back up with your ex-girlfriend, for example. But you're still going to hit all these same plot points no matter what you do, and can't veer off that. The experience is 90% the same for every player no matter what they choose. A whole lot of games do this. The Deus Ex series? Telltale games are infamous for this. All the BioWare games I've played, it's all kind of the same thing. What you almost never see is being able to make choices, then those drastically change the outcome of the game. So even midway, you're in a completely different place and scenario than you would have been had you made other choices. For example, this would be like if Lucas fled the city at the start and hid out in Wyoming, and decided to inspect a spooky mine. That would be a very different experience than what this one currently is. But that would also mean creating way more assets for every time you split the timeline with choices, which is why developers almost never do this. Maybe I'm in the minority, but this compromise style of pseudo-choice just pisses me off, because it almost never coincides with how I want to play my character and have appropriate consequences that fit. I would rather have just a linear game with a good story than a game pretending I have real choices, than telling me midway through the game they were lying and I actually don't. Or else the only thing I can change is whether I win the basketball game or not.
Life is all about choices, Tyler.
Alright. I'm done with the rant. Lucas is toast. The detectives are going to arrest him. So naturally, we have a mandatory QuickTime dance sequence first. You can't just fumble this one. You have to do it. Good, there's the call. Time to go arrest Lucas. Even though it's Tyler's anniversary and his girlfriend is super not cool about this. I bet cops still have lower divorce rates than military. Bye now. Lucas isn't home. Good. He goes back to the psychic. She's dead. Thanks for nothing. Then we get a vision of the guy from the diner, and he's pulling the same possession murder number on a dry cleaner. And the little girl is back. The detectives raid Lucas's apartment and it's empty. But a pagan or satanic ritual is going down in it from the looks of things. Lucas comes back, but the cops get him. See, this is what I was trying to prevent. But wait! Lucas has one trick left. Wall flip! Telekinesis! Kung Fu! Bullet dodge! Multiple bullet dodges! Knock out more cops! That makes 5 now. A police chopper! Run into traffic! Ground slide! Jump onto a helicopter! Fly! Jump off onto a tanker truck! Jump 20 feet straight up onto a bridge! Do a backflip another 15 feet onto a moving train covered in snow! Not today, coppers!
Next time, we won't get away.
Well, that went better for Lucas than expected. The next morning, he wakes up in the church where his brother works at. Not too smart, Lucas. I would send a unit there if I was a detective. Oh, good, the psychic is back as an astral projection. And we finally get some answers. Sort of. The puppet master guy is known as the Oracle. He works for the Shadow People, who have controlled things since the dawn of time. And it looks like there was no motive to picking Lucas or the accountant. They just needed a sacrifice to open the mouth of the serpents, and they were there. That technically answers some of my questions, but now I have more. Whoops, no time to explain. We have a QuickTime sequence of angels trying to kill us. This goes on a while. Oh no! Never mind, it's just a dream again. A hill? Yeah, your brother tells you to get out of here. Well, no, actually, he tells you to turn yourself in. Oh, thanks for the advice, Marcus. I hadn't thought of that one. Yeah, I'll get right on that, you penguin. Spoiler, we're not doing that. But we are going to our ex-girlfriend's apartment, which, again, is not a great move. Oh, look, it's a premonition of the police busting your ass. But does that matter since we're a Jedi now? Use the Force, Lucas. Yeah, there are cops in the front and the back. We're going to an awful lot of trouble to sneak past them for being a Jedi, but whatever. Oh, a mini game to open the window. My parents have some windows like this. Yeah, I don't even consider this an exaggeration. It takes about this much effort to open those windows even when it's not freezing. Finally, made it inside. Hey babe, it's me. Uh-oh, it's the fuzz. See ya. So there was basically no point to this, except we got a chance to watch TV and heard on the news there's an expert on Mayan culture. How convenient. Oh, I forgot. The psychic said we need to look up the Mayans. And it's a good detail that your ex doesn't have a computer, because this takes place in the late 2000s. So that means Google search will be the best it's ever been. So it would be easy to find everything on the Mayans online. Guess we gotta do this the old way. And here we are at the Public Museum. We grill him about Mayan culture and confirm the Oracle is Mayan. That doesn't really help us, but then Lucas confesses his murder to the professor, and he says, whoa, we need to get you out of here before Agent 47 sees you. Follow me. Oh, but look, somebody's trying to kill us. Down, Mr. President. Dive under the car. Hang on to the hood. Backflip save. Kaboom! The car's on fire, but there's two more cars. Lure them into each other, then do a flip jump. Oh man, the professor's dying. Really? But with his dying breath, he says the Oracle is after a child that has the answer to all of life's questions. No! And can we have an instant replay of his tragic demise? I shoved him out of the way of this car. He didn't even hit his head. How old is he? Late 50s, early 60s? I know he's old, but come on. And I'm not skipping anything. We wake up in a jungle cave. It's sort of a dream, I think? But we're having a powwow with the Oracle. Huh. He looks a little like Marilyn Manson. But that's not him. In 2005, he was voice acting this game instead. I've played that one. I think Fahrenheit's better, actually. Here we finally get some answers. Except once again, this is another play the level twice situation. Since we get a chance to ask him two things, then he sticks his panther on us. No wonder I couldn't remember why things are happening. You literally can't get all the answers in one playthrough. But I'll get them this time. Well, the Oracle wants to kill Lucas because if he doesn't, then Lucas can see what he sees, and he doesn't like that. But he's been having trouble because of the chroma. What is chroma?
Chroma? What does that mean?
The force that created the universe. The origin of everything. It gives extraordinary powers to those who possess it.
Oh, so it's the Force. Lucas really is a Jedi. Alright. The Dream Panther tries to kill us. The Psychic shows up to save us in her afterlife wheelchair and says I need to find that little girl I saw earlier. Because she's pure, and the prophecy foretold this. Yeah, the prophecy. Always a sign of good writing right there. And we jumped straight to another vision. This time it's the Oracle reporting in to the Shadow Council. It's not nearly as ominous as I would have hoped. Instead, it just kind of sounds like a dysfunctional city council meeting.
Another clown?
That's impossible. Only we are left.
We have a rival.
Who searches for the Indigo child as we do.
They must not find the child.
That would be a catastrophe.
A disaster.
And we learn there's a rival force also with Chroma searching for the little girl, who is called the Indigo child. Now that's a little helpful because the original US title of this game is Indigo Prophecy. I haven't seen any Indigo, but we do have a prophecy, so, 50-50. But time to wake up, Lucas, because the police are on to you again. They're coming, Lucas! Aha, a classic. Lucas pulled the old Spider-Man on them. They leave, but uh-oh, it's a phone call to his hotel room that the Oracle has captured his ex-girlfriend and he needs to come save her. And he's tied her to the top of a roller coaster track, which is totally not something the Joker would do. Okay, I'm sorry for just running with all this. The tone of this game just fell off a cliff. Right here, this is where it happened. We went from a slow, suspenseful, investigative crime mystery with the supernatural gradually creeping in and making us question what's real or not, to kung fu, comic book physics at the drop of a hat. You can almost see the wires. It's not that I have a problem with either genre, it's that this does not blend. Blend tech would not approve. This has the subtlety of a brick through your window. Look at Lucas, an everyday guy, shocked to his core by a murder. We have a serious investigation, a sobering morgue scene, there's trauma, subtle psychological tension, slow character building, if anything, too slow, relationship issues, looking over the smallest pieces of evidence to intelligently solve this case. This all says to me that you, the player, should take this story seriously. We are trying so hard to make this seem real and adding all this nuance and detail. We're a serious story for serious people set in the real world, which is why the introduction of the supernatural is so jarring. The unreal will be utterly shocking in the real world. Got it? Good, because this is a game about a superhero with superpowers. Boom! Whoa! It's like this game is trying to start an argument between the hemispheres of my brain. And I could almost respect that. Except it's stupid. This is kind of stupid now. And I like dumb fun and cool action, but that's not the ticket I paid for. I thought I bought the somber crime investigation that leads us to questioning the nature of reality ticket. Lucas was reading The Tempest and has Nietzsche on his bedside, for God's sake. Nietzsche didn't know Kung Fu. You're adding too many Skittles to your vegetables, Fahrenheit. What are you doing? Alright, got that out of my system. Back to the game, we try to rescue our ex, but the track collapses and we both die. Now it's time for a flashback, and I lied. This is the worst part of the game. And not just because you're a kid again. Lucas and his brother are sneaking out as kids to see what's in a top secret military bunker. It's a stealth section, and look at this. Look at this crap. Invisible walls blocking me from taking a better route. There's a path they want me to take, but it's a bad path. It's downright cryptic what exactly they want me to do. I flubbed this so many times. I hate this part so much. Don't move or I'll shoot. Do it, shithead. Do us both a favor.
The only way to get to the hangar without being seen is to climb up the telephone pole and hang off of the cable.
What? There's no lights. You could run across the road. Right. And the only reason this matters is because Lucas grew up at Area 51 or something. And this is how he got exposed to the chroma and became a Jedi. Except I guess he forgot all of this until a couple days ago. Well, moving forward, Carla heads to the cemetery where Lucas's ex-girlfriend is buried. Even though it's negative 40 degrees out and she's not wearing a hat, she's coming here to meet Lucas, but plot twist, he hasn't told her he's dead yet.
Father McGrath, I thought you were dead.
I was.
So that makes things a little awkward since he no longer gives off any body heat and is ice cold. We don't get an answer as to why his body fluids aren't freezing and hardening into ice, but we can overlook that. They decide to form an alliance because if he's already dead, I guess that's sentence served. Oh, and also the entire world is starting to freeze over. The police aren't sure what to do about that. Oh, and she's sleeping with Lucas now? That was quick. You may think I'm cutting out important transitions. I'm not. But not to fear. With the power of love or something, they locate the Indigo child. Then Lucas heads in to abduct her. She looks catatonic. No wonder they're saying she's pure of thought. You can't have impure thoughts if you don't think. But uh-oh, there's the Oracle. And since the game was training me to pay attention to details for hours, I notice how the nun yells at you not to go in and abduct the children, but doesn't try to stop you. Then in the next scene, she's back at her desk reading the paper when the Oracle shows up. I guess it was more of a suggestion than a command. Uh-oh, worlds are colliding. Time for a rooftop kung fu fight, but in the air. You know, I'm saying kung fu. I don't actually know what this is, but they put so much work into this sequence, any martial arts people out there can probably identify what style this is. I would say this feels like the writer quit a few chapters ago, but no, this is all David Cage. Yeah, now's as good a time as any to talk about him. Or not. I feel like the entire internet knows more about him than I do, but I have an excuse. See, this is his second game. His first was Omicron, which I've only played a little bit of, and it was looking really promising, but I got stuck pretty fast, and I really should come back to it even though I've heard it has major problems. But I needed snow for Christmas now, which is why we're kung fu fighting in the air. Anyway, the next game from David Cage was Heavy Rain. And first, they announced Heavy Rain as a PC exclusive. Then later, they announced it would be coming to PC and the PlayStation 3. Then, yoink, it's a PlayStation 3 exclusive, suckers! So, I didn't get to play it. And it looks like the internet has been scrubbed of articles documenting this, but look, here's Nvidia in 2009 saying it was only for the PC. See, I didn't imagine this crap. So that left me a little bitter, since everyone was saying, oh my god, it's so great. Yeah, thanks for telling me it was coming to PC, David. But 14 years after Fahrenheit, his other games finally came back to PC. But if you know me, I play games when they're cheap, and they didn't re-release cheap. So I'll get to them eventually, but apparently everyone else in the world has played these games except me, and can probably do a psychoanalysis of David Cage by now because they know him so well. But all I have is this. So this is how I will see you forever, David. Although Omicron's on me, that's my bad. Although I think David Cage has managed to transcend the video, because I don't think I'm the right person to even judge this now. Now I can like good martial arts fights, because they're humans showing off incredible skill. Yeah, badass. But if they can both fly and are sort of invincible, then what's the point of anything? If you're a god, does it matter if somebody punches you? And this is not unique to Fahrenheit. I think this goes way back in cinema history, but I mostly know this from Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. The movie has wonderful cinematography and very skilled actors, but they're always flying around with their martial arts. I mean, if it was meant to be funny, I would get it. But no, they want me to take this seriously. I think? I don't know. I don't get this. This seems stupid to me. I feel like I'm watching a tournament fighter where both people are using cheat codes and have God mode turned on. What's the point then? But some people like this stuff. So this could be exactly what they want, and I wouldn't know. I'm the wrong audience. I did not remember this. But again, if Lucas is already undead Superman, why does he need to run along the side? Wouldn't it be better to just fly away at high speed? Oh, there we go. He teleported. Even better. What this fight says to me is I think The Matrix is a pretty good movie, but some people really, really, really like The Matrix. So it's the answer to everything. Yep, the old teleportation trick gets them every time. Oh good, it's the psychic again. She's awfully busy for being dead. I guess Lucas too. She's been the best source of information so far, and that's good because my questions are piling up again. And she has answers. Even though this took me 2 tries to see them all and I had to replay that damn kung fu all over again. Although doing this again, I actually didn't even see Lucas running up the antenna the first time because I had my QuickTime goggles on. Well, I find out the name of the Shadow Council is the Orange Clan. Yeah, I can see why. And she expands on what the professor said about the prophecy from the dawn of time that the pure child will answer all of life's questions and give whoever hears her ultimate power. But plot twist, she's not an astral projection, she's an AI projection. And they brought you back from the dead by making you a cyborg. And you have a chip in your brain now and it's trying to shut you down. So Lucas says, oh yeah? Well watch me do this. Whatcha! Hey Lucas, it's me, your new and improved girlfriend. Come this way. Okay. Hey Lucas, it's me, Rasta Man. Come down into the sewers with me. We can play Sewer Shark. I think the AI might figure this one out, guys. But wait! There are what look like Soviet troopers, even though they're jumping out of NYPD helicopters, attacking the construct. Up, up, and away! Wahaha! Until next time. Back in the sewers, it turns out the vet from earlier was a sleeper agent for an interdimensional organization known as the Invisibles that have existed since the dawn of time. And I have to wonder if this explanation is based on testimony from an actual homeless person. Well, he gives us 2 scoops of answers. The yellow AI construct is the Purple Clan, obviously. I think they sort of willed themselves into existence, and they're competing with the Orange Clan to get to the child so they can have the ultimate power. Problem is, the child has a low battery charge and she needs more chroma. But there are only 3 places it exists on Earth. But he has some extra in his pocket or something?
Where do we find this chroma source?
There are only 3 known to exist on the planet. We will take care of the child and give her a bit of chroma to help her hang on.
And the Oracle was using his murder powers to open up a doorway between Earth and Dimension X as kind of a radar ping test they do every 7 years, to see if the Indigo child has been born yet. Oh, and the entire world is frozen over now, including all the oceans. They're rock solid ice, and this is happening because the Indigo child hasn't delivered her message yet. So the plan is to take her to the military base Lucas grew up at since there's more chroma there. Except if you recall, that looked like it was out in the middle of the desert. This clearly looks like it's out west. That's gotta be at least 1,500 miles from New York, huh? There's another sex scene, even though Lucas is still a walking corpse, and this convinces me David Cage is doing this on purpose. He's sitting behind you watching along saying, yeah, she's having sex with a dead guy, and he's completely ice cold. Isn't that messed up? Huh? Huh? And I swear I did not skip critical scenes. You may as well be playing the game yourself. You're getting all the answers. So here we are at the abandoned military base that never got rid of the top secret artifact. There's a big QuickTime showdown where we have a psychic battle with everyone, and depending on where you fail, we have 3 endings. First you fight the Oracle, have a psychic battle, then dunk him into chroma. I guess that stops him. And I have to say, they nailed the expression on his face. You can just see him saying, oh shit! I think this actually might be one of my new favorite villain deaths. I don't have a top 10 or anything, but the villain from one of the Fast and Furious movies is another one of mine. After fighting him, you do the same thing again with the AI bot. Although I actually failed a QuickTime event and was shot in the chest. But that was fine. That didn't impact anything. And if you vanquish it, then the child whispers to you, and the world is reborn. And it's paradise on Earth, I guess. Even though Lucas has major doubts about all of this. Literal first world problems, huh? If you lose to the AI construct, then it listens to the child, and the world keeps becoming colder, and mankind goes underground, and it's hunted by the machines. So it's sort of a cross between the Terminator and Quintet. And if you lose against the Oracle, he listens to the child, then poof, everything goes back to normal. I do find this kind of hilarious, that normal life is the scenario where we're all enslaved under the Orange Clan and they retain ultimate power. Yeah, that makes me wonder why they wanted the child so badly if they already controlled all of Earth. Is it a classic case of power-hungry people wanting more power just because it's there? It sounded like it was more than just wanting to maintain their existing power. Or did they want more power to conquer Dimension X or other realms? It wasn't to defeat the Purple Clan. They literally only discovered their existence a day or 2 ago. Yeah, that's the slap in the face. We never made it to Dimension X. This part at the beginning? This never happens. We never get to see this. The bugs? We never see the real deal. The only glimmer we get is that council meeting, and that looked pretty lame. Even the jungle cave was an in-between place. So the whole game teased Dimension X and doesn't deliver. Boo! And then we get some whiny rock in the credits while someone sings about his girlfriend leaving for Santa Monica. When you left for Santa Monica. Oh yeah, I never talked about the music. It was unremarkable. I hated almost all the licensed music used. The score was competent enough, but almost nothing stood out to me. Probably the best tracks were the character selection music and some of the suspense building themes. Everything else was kinda They also reused tracks way too much. I hope I never hear this track again. Damn, I guess we got some coal in our stocking this year. Or not coal, excuse me, chroma. Awards! Half and half. This game is half everything. Half serious, half ridiculous, half real, half unreal, half good adventure game, half garbage QuickTime mashing, half finished. There's obviously a chunk missing from the game after Lucas dies, though that's not even the main problem. The problem is we were teased something great and then went to Stupid Town instead. Yeah, half stupid too. Put David Cage on a leash. When I see this, I see raw talent just thrashing around wildly with no rhyme or reason. This is not a bad game. It's a good game that got fed after midnight and turned into a monster. Now again, I'm in the dark on his other titles, so this is probably way outdated. But from what little I know, those don't sound as imaginative as Fahrenheit or Omicron. If so, that would be a shame. I want his imagination, but I want things more refined. Making the everyday man an undead cyborg ninja who has superpowers and is actually Jesus doesn't feel refined to me. Speaking of which, I took the story challenge mode on this game and didn't use outside help. And I think I finally passed it this time. Surprisingly, I think I figured out the why of almost everything. A few things I didn't get the answers to, but I did see a pattern. At some point, most of the answers devolve into nonsense, but if we just fill in David Cage, then it's all wrapped up nice and neatly. And don't kill accountants. They just crunch the numbers, they don't write the policies. That's the episode. Hope you have a good Christmas. I never know how to handle Christmas, which I think has been made quite clear. But hey, it had snow. I wasn't disappointed in the slightest on that front. So, yeah. T-pose!